is National Preparedness Month, and each year around this time, Governor Kim Reynolds will sign an appreciation proclamation there thanking Iowa first responders for their hard work.
Today, she was right here in Siouxland doing just that. KTIV's Nick Reese has more.
Whenever there's an emergency, like a severe storm, flooding, a large fire, or even the COVID-19 pandemic, EMS is there to help.
We're kind of the bridge between local government and state government, and even local government and the federal government when it comes to federal disasters, things like that.
But not everyone knows what goes on behind the scenes to help them stay prepared, particularly when it comes to their training and the technology they use every day.
These resources, they all take funding, they take money, they take preparation, they take maintenance, all those types of things. And so it's important for us to just kind of share, what we do while these resources are available, it takes continued support to maintain them.
This can be particularly tough for emergency managers in Iowa's rural counties, where response teams often feature just one person.
So, for example, we rely on the others. I may not have this piece of equipment, but another county might, so that emergency manager can help.
To help increase this awareness, District 3 of the Iowa Emergency Management Association, which includes 16 counties in northwest Iowa, held a field day on Thursday to showcase what they do to local and state legislators, including Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, who has long been a supporter of emergency services.
I've had an opportunity to see firsthand the great work that they do. Since I've been governor, we've experienced flooding, we've experienced a derecho. To talk about what Cherokee did during COVID, where they set up a node that really allowed us to bring all the PPE here and then distribute to the counties, was really, it saved time, it saved money, it saved resources, and really was much more efficient.
The field day included presentations on preparedness, training, and funding, as well as showing off technology such as trailers, light towers, generators, and drones.
Sometimes I think we need to just step back and make sure that everybody really sees what's happening behind the scenes to provide the response and the services that we see from our emergency managers.
In Cherokee, Iowa, Nick Reese, KTIV News 4.
And this was the first year the governor there signed her appreciation proclamation in Siouxland. After that, attendees were treated to a free meal provided by the Salvation Army.
That organization often works with EMS to provide food and shelter to disaster victims.